I moved to a new town last summer after receiving a promotion at work. I was sad to move away from my hometown, but it wasn't so bad, seeing as we live in the age of Skype. I had my stuff moved in the middle of the day. Of course, everyone was at work or school, so I didn't get to meet any of my neighbors. It was around 6 o'clock, and I was making dinner when I noticed something out the window. 3 women were standing on the sidewalk and talking to each other. I couldn't make out what the women were saying through the closed window. They then walked to my front door, and I heard the doorbell ring. I opened the door and saw the women before me. They looked worried for some reason. The women introduced themselves as my neighbors, Kylie, Hannah, and Melanie. I asked them if they'd like to come inside out of common courtesy. All 3 women flatly declined. Kylie asked me why I bought this house. I told my neighbors about my promotion and how I wanted to go with the cheapest option. As I did so, I noticed Melanie's body language. Her eyes scanned every inch of my house as her body quivered. I asked Melanie if she was okay while following her eyesight. "She's fine, Jill," Hannah answered for her friend while holding her hand. Kylie then said that it was nice to meet me before escorting Melanie away with Hannah. The way she looked and sounded indicated that she wanted to get her friend away as soon as possible. I stood there, utterly dumbfounded by my neighbor's antics. I returned to my meal, trying to forget about the weird interaction. When I woke up the following day, I was met with a startling surprise. Red footprints were all over the living room floor. From the size of the feet, I could tell that they belonged to a child no older than 10. As I observed the bizarre scene, I saw that the basement door was wide open. I also determined that someone came out of the basement, walked around the room, then returned to the basement. The first thing I could think of doing was investigating the basement. The basement was pretty small, with a single light bulb dangling in the center of the room. It didn't take long for me to search the place before confirming that nobody was there. There was a window, but it was too narrow for anyone to climb through. What was even stranger was that there were no footprints down there. I didn't know what to make of any of this. I couldn't even tell what substance the footprints were made of or locate the source. It couldn't have been blood. If that were the case, then whose was it? I cleaned the footprints as I didn't know what else to do. I didn't call the police as I found it unnecessary. There was no body, nor was anything stolen, so I just left it alone. The following day, I found the same mess in my living room. My mouth fell open as I tried to comprehend how this happened. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to clean as I had to go to work. I returned home after work and saw someone looking through my living room window. It was Melanie. She had that same fearful expression as the night before. I asked her what she was doing. Melanie mumbled something incoherent in response, still looking through my window. I got closer, asking her what she said. "Andy's still here," Melanie replied. I could see her eyes well up as she said that name. Confused, I asked Melanie who Andy was. She finally turned to me, wiping her tears. Melanie explained that Andy was a boy who lived in my house before I did. I came to know that Andy was Melanie's childhood friend. He was a sweet boy, loved by everyone, but his life wasn't all perfect. Cecile, Andy's dad, was always cold towards him. For some reason, the man suspected that Andy wasn't his biological kid. Cecile had marital problems with his wife, Veronica, which started about 2 years before Andy's birth. The conflict went on for months, until the day Veronica discovered that she was pregnant. Cecile seemed happy when he first heard the news. Veronica and the neighbors thought that parenthood would fix everything. Sadly, things didn't work out as everyone hoped. Throughout the pregnancy, Cecile was oddly quiet. People have even caught him staring at his wife whenever they went out. It wasn't until after Andy was born that everyone knew why. It started with Cecile staring at Andy like he did Veronica. One night, Cecile went to a bar with his colleagues. In his drunken state, the man said that he didn't think Andy was his. Cecile's colleagues just laughed, chalking it up to alcohol-induced nonsense. When she was 8, Melanie and her mom went to Andy's house for a playdate. Melanie's mom knocked on the door, but no one answered. Finally, after waiting a couple of minutes, Melanie and her mom decided to look through the window. Both were mortified by what they'd witnessed. Cecile tossed Andy's bloody body into the basement. Melanie screamed as her mother picked her up and ran back into the car. Melanie was crying the whole trip to the police station. When the police barged into Andy's house, they found Cecile on his knees in front of the basement stairs. Blood was splattered all over the living room. Cecile confessed to killing his family and throwing their corpses into the basement. Before Melanie and her mom arrived for the playdate, Cecile confronted Veronica. He demanded to know who she cheated on him with, as he was sure that Andy wasn't his. Veronica swore up and down that she never cheated on Cecile. Cecile was so mad at his dishonest wife that he killed her and Andy in a fit of rage. It wasn't until after the deed was done that Cecile snapped out of it. He regretted his actions and cursed himself for his insecurities. Melanie never recovered from the trauma of that incident. She couldn't even bring herself to Andy's house without being reminded of the poor kid's demise. Since that day, Andy's spirit roamed the house every night, leaving bloody footprints behind. I'm planning to move soon. Only this time, I'll be checking the history of the openings beforehand.